Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning in today. Today we are speaking and going to learn about how to use wood filler. You know, if you're going to spend all of this time refinishing furniture, you better believe you better be filling in those holes and making it look right. Don't spend all that time and not pay attention to the details. It's an important thing. I am a Minwax product snob. I have been for over a decade, actually going on 2 decades. Yeah, that's dated me, but that's okay. I love Minwax stainable wood filler. Stainable is the word there. I probably refinish and stain more than I actually paint. So I want a wood filler that actually is going to absorb the stain and look as flawless as a flaw can look after it's been finished. So that is why I use this. This can be painted as well, so it's kind of, you can't lose with it. And let me read a couple things just so you're aware. It's stainable and paintable, like I said. It's interior and exterior. Make sure you get that one because I'm using it for both. It's fast drying and it sands easily. I love fast drying products because I like to be able to see what it's going to do. And if I need to build on it and add another layer, that allows me to do that. Securely holds screws and nails. That's a little trick too, because when you're finishing furniture, sometimes you need to be able to rebuild a hole that's been stripped of, years of having screws put in and out of it. So that's a big deal. So I like that a lot. It resists shrinking and cracking. You wouldn't think that's a problem, but it really is. As things age, we all wrinkle, right? So we age and things happen. Same goes with many products like this. So while I don't think anything is shrink proof 100%, we want it to be a minimal effect if it's gonna do it at all. And then it's a latex formula, so soap and water cleanup. So that's a neat thing too, because then you can clean, and instead of sometimes, like I always recommend, get the cheap so you can just toss, you can actually spend a little bit more money and then keep the product that you're using. So you just need some, there we go, stainable wood filler, and then a good putty knife. I really love, you want to feel, and I want a sharp one. I want to make sure it's not too thick because some of the detail I need to kind of actually use this tool to mold the shape and the design that I need it to do. So it's super easy. So basically all you're gonna do is apply it, mold it, let it do its thing, and then sand it so it looks good. So let's jump into actually how we use it. This has a huge little notch out of it. Now rounded areas are kind of a pain to do, I'm not gonna lie. It's much easier to actually do a flat area, which there's some work here that needs to get done. So I'm gonna kind of just work this area and kind of show you what to do. Now this piece is in really bad condition. There's scratches, there's gouges, but I'm actually going to paint over this. I love stain, but there's some areas that are kind of weak and I need to be able to reinforce that, and stain's not going to hide it. So this one's a little too far gone, but I do want to make sure that each piece has a nice smooth area. So the very first thing I'm going to do is, when I'm working with the actual wood filler, I enjoy using tiny pieces of sandpaper here. I cut them down into a square and I just want to rough up the edge a little bit. I know that might seem silly, but it really definitely, in my opinion, gives it something to actually grab onto a little bit. So I scuff it up because I don't know that it's going to stick to something so smooth. And this is a really porous grit one. So I'm just going to scuff it up a little bit, and you can already kind of see that there's a difference. And I'm going to go over it with a fine sandpaper when I'm done, but for right now, that's what needs to happen. I'm not going to tell you something different, but I absolutely 100% use my fingers for this a lot. It's silly. There's no reason you can't, you guys. No reason you can't. And this corner is not going to be easy because you're actually going to have to build it a little bit. And like I said, it's a lot easier to do something that is already flat. And I'm just going to work it because I can sand down whatever gets left over, and if I need to do this in a couple different steps, that's okay. Oh my gosh, do you see my old lady hands? I do not take care of these at all. I do not moisturize, and I should, and I absolutely should. Let's see, and I'm just gonna spread that out, and you can kind of already see I've got a nice angle instead of a flat area. And I don't even need to use my knife at the moment because I still just need to work with this area a little bit. And I'm gonna tap. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect because I can go back. And of course, I'm gonna smooth it down with a sanding as well. But I've already basically rebuilt that corner. Is it ever gonna look perfect? Well, probably not. But it's gonna look really close after I'm done sanding. Oh, I love it already. And then for like the gouges on top, this is fun, you guys. So I'm gonna put a little bit of putty on my knife this time because I can't drag this around the way that I would either way. So you don't need a ton unless you're working in large areas, but I'm gonna kind of cover an area a little bit larger so you can see how it's just gonna fill in any areas that need it. See, there was a lot of gouge. Can you see how much is getting left in? I'm not exaggerating when I say there was a lot of scratches in this. And as the rule of thumb is always gonna be, we're always gonna go with what? That's right, the grain of the wood. And then we're gonna just kind of pull this out of the way. And now all of these little yellow spots, that's not leftover because I was sloppy with my brush or my knife. This is leftovers because those were all gouges that needed to get filled in. Now granted, paint could fill that in to some degree, but there are some gouges that I just wanna touch up. So this is as simple as it is. I know that might seem like I made it look easy, but really it is as easy as it is. And as you do it more often, you're definitely gonna get tricks of your own to doing it, and make sure you're understanding the sandpaper that you're using because you definitely you don't want to go too harsh and destroy the work that you've already done and have to go back over it again because it left too many, groove lines in it. So thanks for tuning in. Remember, reading the directions and just doing a little bit of research, there's no project that you can't tackle. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, bye.